Nigerians, these are very difficult and troubling times, and my heart goes out to all those who lost their loved ones during the train attack just a couple of days back. Now, initially, there was an attack on the Kaduna airport in which some people were killed. The plane could not take off, and since then, the airport has been closed. Then came the train attack in which over 900 people were assaulted, the rail line was bombed, and of course, some were killed and many more were kidnapped, including a whole family of a man, his wife, and his 4 children. It really is so sad. And of course, there was that very pretty young doctor that was also killed, who was sending text messages as she was being attacked, and she was killed. After that, and that is earlier today, came an attack on an army barracks in Suleja, in which 6 soldiers were reportedly killed, and again, the same perpetrators, terrorists, mainly Chadian, Nigerian, and other terrorists from outside our country. How do we know this? Because some of those that escaped after the train attack from the kidnappers and terrorists said that this is where these people were from. Now, we have to try and figure out what's really going on. When your airports are being attacked, when your train stations and your trains are being attacked, when your army barracks are being attacked, all in the same location, not too far away from your nation's capital, either Suleja or Kaduna and other environs, then you know there's a deeper conspiracy and you know something is going on. And look at the timing. All this is happening just before an election in a few months' time. We need to be extremely careful. I've said for the last few years that what's going on in this country, that we are under attack and we are being undermined by a foreign conspiracy, which involves a number of foreign nations. And that is what you see unfolding here. Some people, foreign governments, foreign elements are behind all this. And what are they trying to do? To ensure that we turn against one another, to ensure that our nation is undermined, to bring down the government of this country, to cause Nigerians to turn on one another and begin to kill each other. And that is why we need to be very restrained, very careful, very focused, and very, very, very measured in our responses to these actions. Of course, it's important that the government does a lot more. And I am aware of the fact that they're doing their very best to do precisely that. But it's also important for the people to come together and recognize the fact that security is something that we all should be involved in. People should report strange movements. The collaborators of the terrorists within our country, those within our own country, that is the Nigerians that collaborate with them, must be brought to book. And we all need to do a hell of a lot more. I have one more point to make. And that point is this. I have very deep suspicions that some of those that are in politics are also encouraging this behavior in order to discredit the incumbent government and pave a way for a new government to come in. We saw this happening in 2014, 2015, before the election of that time. And we're seeing the same pattern taking place today, where people are being kidnapped, people are being slaughtered, people are being killed, in order to create an atmosphere for some kind of change, either a change of government or to encourage some kind of unconstitutional intervention in our affairs. Well, we need to resist that. We need to resist the temptation of having unconstitutional governments coming into power in our country or creating atmospheres where people will then begin to say, perhaps something which is unconstitutional should happen. That must not happen. We must sustain this democracy despite all these body blows that we're experiencing. We must, forge ahead, and we must ensure that our country remains united and focused. And most importantly, we must recognize the fact that our enemies are not our fellow Nigerians. They're not Fulanis, they're not Hausas, they're not Yorubas, they're not Igbos. They are people from outside that are sponsoring this, that are funding this, that are supporting this, and that are encouraging people to come into our shores to slaughter us. We must come together and resist them. And it's not only in the north, it happens in other parts of the country as well. These unknown gunmen and things like that that are going on in these, only God knows who they really are. Because I don't believe any Nigerian would do that kind of thing to his fellow compatriots. So let's come together, let's work together, and let's ensure that this evil stops. There is no other name for it. It is pure evil. Condemn those behind it, And I stand on a united Nigeria where there is peace, where there is progress, where there is prosperity, where we can come together to sustain our democracy and resist the elements from foreign lands that wish to destabilize us and cause us to have a civil war in this country. Thank you very much.